Once upon a time in a land not far away, just like ours, there lived trusting people just like me and you. With pets they loved as family, just as we do ours. They worked as hard as they could, just like you and me, and paid good money. They were unsuspecting people, just like you may be, and trusted the big shiny brands, just like we all do, to give their pets the very best. Or so they thought. You may be one of those people, just like I may be, because if you've ever bought a pet supplement, you may have helped fund an operation like this. A polished name in front of an offshore facility, and mysterious powders emerging from the black box of a supply chain. A business generating tons of revenue behind it. Tons of money, you ask? But how, you wonder? This is Meredith. She's content marketing manager at ShipBob, a US-based fulfillment company, and she wrote a rather useful case study. It explains how PetLabCo runs a $100 million plus business with the logistics teams of just 2 people. PetLabCo is a pet vitamin and supplement brand funded in London by these 2 men. $100 million isn't the only remarkable number. This is Ryan Wrigley. He explained it on Instagram in his own words.
PetLab Co. is doing $200 million a year selling probiotic chews for dogs, and the founders have never shown their face. PetLab was founded in 2018 by Chris Masanto and Damian Grabarczyk in London. PetLab spends $5 to $10 million a month on Meta with hundreds of creatives live at once. Anything below a 1.5 roast by day 3 gets paused. Anything above 2.5 gets a 50% budget bump same day.
Those are remarkable numbers. So back to the question that actually matters. That much money? How? These are just a few people who publicly list PetLabCo as their employer. Many roles. Talented? Likely, but not UK-based. Their work quality isn't the question, transparency is. London at the front, offshore roles behind it. But what about the product? Premium ingredients? Good. Let's take a closer look. There are the ingredients, the names at least, but on this page, that's where the trail ends. For the customer, the picture becomes rather foggy. Visiting from the USA, then you are probably on the .com website. And if manufactured in the USA matters to you, that's what it gives you. But visiting from the UK, then you are probably on .co.uk. And same branded products give you manufactured in the British Isles. Hi, I am Bruce. And this isn't really a story about one company. It's about the black box behind much of the pet supplement industry. Because behind the scene, the market isn't always as varied as it appears. Different brands, different websites, different shopfronts. But behind many familiar names sit much larger investment networks. So moving from one brand to another doesn't necessarily mean moving to different commercial incentives. BC Partners, for example, is a global investment firm with extensive experience across pet retail and pet healthcare that holds a majority stake in PetLabCo, among other brands. And that model is the black box. I'm inviting you to look inside because when you do, you begin to see where compromises can hide. Regulation establishes a minimum standard. It doesn't guarantee complete transparency. A label can follow the rule and still leave pet owners with some very basic questions. Where did these ingredients come from? How were they produced? Are they included in a meaningful amount? Then there is the packaging. Single-use plastic tops used only for a matter of weeks and end up into waste, persisting in the environment for centuries. And when marketing becomes the most visible ingredient of all, we have to ask how much of the price goes into the product and how much goes into persuading us to buy it. These didn't sit right with us. We decided to do something different. We are building the company we wished already existed. Welcome to PetVitae Lab. At PetVitae, we treat formulation as a responsibility, not a commodity. And responsible formulation begins with traceability. You deserve to know the origin, processing, purpose of every ingredient in that chew. If a PetVitae label says wild Alaskan salmon oil, those words must be backed by evidence, where it came from, how it was handled, and the records connecting it to the batch in your hand. That responsibility doesn't end with the formula. We designed our packaging to reduce reliance on single-use plastic, using recyclable card-based material wherever they genuinely work, with clear instruction for disposing of them properly. That's because we don't believe you can talk about animal well-being while ignoring the waste left in the world those animals inhabit. But changing a broken model requires more than better ingredients. It means changing who gets heard. Most companies invite customers in at the checkout. We want to invite you in while PetVitae is still being built. Our Founding Backers program is designed around three things: back our first production run, see the evidence behind our ingredients, packaging, and decisions, and help shape what we build next through backers poll, open updates, and our founding community. You won't simply receive a product, you will help establish the standards behind it, because transparency only matters when people can hold you to it. By answering openly to the people who care for these animals, our standards remain visible and become much harder to quietly compromise. And our promise reaches further. Through our Service Animal Pledge, we will support guide, assistant, police, search and rescue, and therapy animals, because animals who spend their lives helping us deserve a little help in return. PetVitae begins with what goes in the bowl, and one day we hope it will reach the places we walk together. But every journey needs a first step. Back our first production run on Kickstarter and become a founding backer. They've always looked after us. Now it's our turn.